Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Neha Tulshan from Crescent Creation. Let me first start by wishing you a very happy new year. And to celebrate the new year's with you, here I have these couple of cards that I made using some old products from Honeybee Stamps and Lawn Fawn. So let's get started. I've started with some die cutting here. I'm using Celebration Box Stamp and Coordinating Die from Honeybee Stamps. And I've started with doing the die cutting here first, and then I'll stamp the images on those die cuts. And since I'm making 4 cards today, I will die cut all these pieces 4 times to use on all my 4 cards. I like to do as much as possible all the die cutting on my Sizzix Sidekick machine. It's small and it sits just beside my glass media mat, and whenever I have to do die cutting and if the dies are small enough to fit in this machine, then I just bring it on my glass media mat and I start die cutting as I'm doing it here. You can choose to die cut from whatever machine that you have in hand. And once done die cutting, we'll move on to stamping our images on these die cuts. So now I have all my pieces die cut and ready to stamp. I'm going to use Distress Oxide inks to do all the stamping here. For my first image, I'm using Wilted Violet Distress Oxide ink. And the reason I did all the die cutting first before stamping is because these images are really thin. They're like just one line of swirl just made. And it is hard to stamp and then die cut using the coordinating dies. You will just not be able to align them perfectly. Here on the left you see 2 images that I have stamped in black. I'm going to copy color those images, so I used Gina K Amalgam ink to stamp those images. The colors that I have used for stamping all these images are listed on the right hand side of the screen, and they are also listed in my blog post. The Celebration Box die set also comes with this box dies that I die cut using craft cardstock. And here I'm using Vintage Photo Distress Oxide inks to add some ink to these die cuts to add some depth to them. And to create that effect of having the edge of the box on the front, I've used a post-it tape and placed it at the center of the box. And now I am adding the ink just to the side of it. Once I'm done inking on the left side, I'll remove the post-it tape and place it just a little offset and ink on the right side of the post-it tape. This little step of masking adds a really good 3D look to the whole box. Here I'm just adding a little more color to the edges of the box. Now I'm just working on the rest of the pieces. Once I'm done inking, I'll glue them together to create my complete box. For the box to have more 3D look, I have added these foam tapes at the center, and I'm not going to remove the backing of those foam tapes. And I glued the 2 pieces together using some liquid glue from Burley Arts. I applied the glue only to the edges of the box, making sure there is no glue in the center. This way the center looks all popped up. We have also added the foam tape that adds to the dimension of the box, and it makes the whole thing look 3D. And I'm really liking the Burley Arts liquid glue. It is becoming one of my favorite glues to work with. It comes with different tips that you can put on your bottle, and it dries matte finish. So even if the glue oozes out, it's not gonna show. Now I'm working on my background. All my cards are A2 size today. That means they are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So here I have a Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock that I have cut in 4 to create my 4 backgrounds. And now I'm inking it up using Cracked Pistachio, Peacock Feathers and Blueprint Sketch Distress Oxide inks. I'm coloring from center to out. So that means I'm starting with my Cracked Pistachio in the center, and then I'll go around it using my Peacock Feathers. And then lastly, I'll come in with Blueprint Sketch Distress Oxide inks and color the rest of the edges. I'm using my mini blending tool for inking my background here. And for these blending tools, I like to keep 1 sponge per color, so I don't have to keep cleaning the sponges when I'm using a color. Since I don't clean these sponges, the sponges are always loaded with that particular color. It's easier to get smooth blends while doing backgrounds like this. And I store them just behind the ink pads with some Velcro so that they don't fall anywhere. And every time I have to use a color, the sponge is just sitting right behind it. And if you're worried about the ink getting transferred from the sponge to your storage unit, just place a copy paper beneath the ink pad and you're good. And I keep changing those copy papers every 3 months. Within 3 months, those copy papers get really saturated and I'm good to go. Since I have a small craft room, I have to see what all supplies I can store. So I don't have a lot of these tools. I do have sponges for each ink pad. So one sponge per ink pad. But I don't have so many blending tools. I just have a handful of them that's sitting in a basket on my work desk. And each time I use an ink pad, the sponge comes from behind it. I inked up rest of the backgrounds off camera, and here I've sprayed some water using my distress sprayer, and now I'm blotting it dry using a paper towel. Next, I'll sprinkle some liquid stardust from Lawn Fawn using a paintbrush. The glitter in the liquid stardust gets settled in the bottom when it is sitting for a long time. So you want to just give it a good shake before you pour out the liquid to use. Now that the background is drying, we can move on to coloring few of the images. There is not a lot of coloring on this card. There are only 3 images that I colored per card. And I'm just going to show you how to color one of them because rest of them are colored similarly. So here I started with RV09 and added shadows to the image wherever I felt it was needed. Next, I'm coming in with RV06 to blend the RV09 and pull that color a little further. And lastly, for my lightest color, I'm using RV04 and coloring the rest of the image. But I didn't feel that I had enough contrast here. I even came in back with my RV09, tried to add the color and make it a little more darker. But still, I could not get that darker color. So then I came in with a gray marker, which is C7, and added color to the areas where the darker shade would be. The gray marker here just added a nice contrast to the whole image. And now to blend it out, I'm going back with my RV09 marker over those gray areas. And I just love the end result. Here using my white gel pen to add some dot details, and this image is ready. For the 2021 numbers on my card, I die cut out these numbers using Lawn Fawn Oliver Stitched 123s. I die cut them using white cardstock and fun foam, and here I'm layering the fun foam behind the white die cuts to give these die cuts a little bit of dimension. Once that's done, I'm gonna add color to these die cuts using my Copic markers. I'm using B29 and B91 Copic markers to give these numbers an ombre effect. Once I'm done coloring all the numbers, I'll add some liquid glue to the bottom of these numbers and dip them into a glitter jar to add some shine to these numbers. Here I'm die cutting the backgrounds using the largest die from Lawn Fawn's small stitched rectangle die set. Once all the backgrounds are die cut, I'm gonna mat them with black cardstock, and I like this way of layering panels easier than any of the other methods. So what I do is I glue the top panel onto the layering cardstock before cutting the layering cardstock to size. That way I don't have to find the center for the top panel while gluing it to my layering cardstock. And then I can trim off the excess from the layering cardstock, and that's how I get perfect mats for my front panels. Here I'm adding fun foam at the back of these panels, and then I'm gluing these panels to a white card base that measures 4¼ by 5½, made using Nina Solo White 110 pound cardstock. Here I have arranged all my pieces on the card front as I want them to be, and now I'm gluing them using liquid glue from Bearly Arts. I'm really liking this liquid glue. It's perfect for gluing teeny tiny images onto your card front, and is a perfect glue for these embellishments. I'm gluing down some metallics mixed jewels from my store. It's a mix of gold and silver jewels in different sizes. And that's it, my card is done. All the links to the products are in the description box below. And I would like to end this video by thanking you all for your support and love. And I wish you all have a great year ahead and that you continue supporting me and my work. Thank you all for subscribing, commenting. I love to hear from you guys. This is one of my favorite things to do about crafting. I get to know new people. I get to know you all, which is just great. So thank you so much. And here are a few more videos that you might be interested in. Thank you for visiting. Have a nice day.